I'm glad you're here. Stay with me until the end, and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. My name is Olivia Cross. I'm 38 years old. I'm a public defender in Chicago. I defend people who can't afford lawyers. I've represented thieves, addicts, and people who have made mistakes they'll regret for the rest of their lives. I've stood beside clients who had no one else. I've argued for second chances in courtrooms where judges had already made up their minds. 22 years ago, I was a different person. I was a 16-year-old girl who trusted someone with everything I had. His name was Marcus Webb. We met when we were 6 years old, on the first day of first grade. He sat next to me. He had messy hair and a gap-toothed smile and a laugh that made everyone around him laugh too. We grew up together. We walked to school together. We did homework together. We told each other secrets we never told anyone else. His mother worked 2 jobs. My mother worked the night shift at the hospital. We spent more time at each other's houses than we did at our own. He was my best friend. He was the brother I never had. When we were 16, Marcus robbed my house. He waited until my mother was at work and I was at a study group. He broke in through the back window. He took my mother's jewelry, my laptop, the cash we had saved for a summer vacation. He took things that couldn't be replaced. He took the sense of safety I had felt in my own home. I didn't know it was him at first. The police came. They dusted for fingerprints. They asked questions. They didn't have any leads. A week later, Marcus confessed. He came to my house. He stood on the front porch. He was crying. He told me he was the one who broke in. He told me he needed money. He told me he was in trouble with people he owed. He told me he was sorry. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to feel. The person I trusted most in the world had stolen from me. He had violated the one place where I was supposed to be safe. I called the police. They arrested him. He went to juvenile detention. He was sentenced to 2 years. I didn't visit him. I didn't write. I didn't forgive him. 15 years later, Marcus was arrested again. This time for armed robbery. He was facing 20 years in federal prison. His family had abandoned him. His public defender had dropped his case. He had no one left. And he asked for me. The only lawyer who would take his case. The childhood best friend he had betrayed. The girl whose house he had robbed. Before I tell you what I decided, before I tell you whether I defended the boy who broke my trust, I need you to understand who Marcus was to me. I need you to understand the friendship we had, the betrayal that shattered it, and the man he became after. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved like family, drop a broken heart in the comments. And tell me where you're watching from. I want to know who else has been where I was. Let me take you back. To a small house in a working-class neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. To a friendship that started with a shared crayon and lasted for a decade. To the night I learned that the people you love most can be the ones who hurt you worst. I met Marcus on the first day of first grade. The classroom was loud. Kids were crying. Parents were hovering. I was sitting at a table, alone, drawing a picture of my cat. Marcus sat down next to me. He didn't have any crayons. He asked if he could borrow mine. Only if you share, I said. He smiled. It was a goofy smile, missing a tooth on the bottom. I'll share everything I have. He didn't have much. His family was poor. His father was gone. His mother worked double shifts at a warehouse. But he shared what he had. His snacks. His toys. His time. We became inseparable. We walked to school together every morning. He would wait for me on the corner, even when it was cold, even when it was raining. We did homework together at my kitchen table. My mother would make us sandwiches. She called Marcus her second son. He slept over at my house so often that my mother bought him his own toothbrush. We stayed up late watching movies, eating popcorn, talking about nothing and everything. He knew my fears. He knew my dreams. He knew the things I never told anyone else. I knew his too. I knew he was scared of becoming like his father. I knew he wanted to go to college, to get out of the neighborhood, to build a life that was different from the one he was born into. I believed in him. I believed he could do it. We made a pact when we were 12. We would both go to college. We would both become someone. We would both leave this neighborhood behind and never look back. I kept my promise. He didn't. The first sign that something was wrong came when we were 14. Marcus started hanging out with older kids. Kids who smoked. Kids who skipped school. Kids who talked about money and cars and things that didn't belong to them. I told him to be careful. I told him those kids were trouble. He told me to mind my own business. You don't know what it's like, he said. You have a mother who comes home every night. You have food in the fridge. You have a future. What are you talking about? You have a future too. He laughed. It wasn't his real laugh. It was something else. Something harder. My mother can't even pay the electric bill. She's working 60 hours a week and we're still behind. The only future I have is this neighborhood. The only future I have is nothing. I didn't know what to say. I had never seen him like this. I had never seen him so angry, so hopeless, so sure that nothing would ever get better. That's not true, I said. You're smart. You're talented. You can do anything you want. He looked at me. His eyes were cold. You don't get it, he said. You'll never get it. He walked away. I watched him go. I didn't follow. Over the next 2 years, Marcus changed. He stopped walking to school with me. He stopped doing homework at my kitchen table. He stopped sleeping over. He was distant. He was angry. He was someone I didn't recognize. I tried to reach him. I called. I texted. I showed up at his house. His mother would look at me with sad eyes and say, "He's not here, Olivia. He's out." I didn't know where he was. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know that he was getting into trouble. That he was stealing. That he was running with people who would eventually drag him down. The night he robbed my house, I was at a study group. I came home around 9. The back window was broken. The door was open. My mother's jewelry box was empty. My laptop was gone. The cash we had saved for vacation was missing. I called the police. They came. They took pictures. They dusted for fingerprints. They asked me if I knew anyone who might have done this. I said no. I didn't want to believe it was Marcus. I couldn't believe it was Marcus. A week later, he showed up at my front door. He was crying. His hands were shaking. I did it, he said. I broke in. I took your stuff. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I stared at him. Why? He wiped his face with his sleeve. I owed money. Bad people. They said they would hurt my mother if I didn't pay. I didn't know what else to do. You could have asked me for help. You could have told me. You could have. I know. I know. But I was ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like this. I didn't want you to know what I'd become. I looked at him. The boy who had been my best friend. The boy who had shared his snacks and his toys and his time. The boy who had promised to go to college and become someone. I called the police. They arrested him. He went to juvenile detention. He was sentenced to 2 years. I didn't visit him. I didn't write. I didn't forgive him. The years passed. I went to college. I went to law school. I became a public defender. I built a life that was mine. I didn't think about Marcus. Not the way I had thought about him before. He was there, in the background, the way things are when they've been part of your life for so long you don't notice them anymore. But he wasn't heavy. He wasn't sharp. He was just a memory. A story. A thing that had happened to someone who was not me anymore. I thought about what he did. The betrayal. The violation. The way he had taken something from me that I could never get back. Not the things. The trust. The sense of safety. The belief that the people you love will not hurt you. I carried that with me for years. It made me cautious. It made me careful. It made me slow to trust. But it also made me who I was. It made me a defender of people who had no one else. It made me believe in second chances, even when I didn't want to. It made me understand that people are complicated. That good people do bad things. That the person who hurts you is not always a monster. I didn't forgive Marcus. I didn't think I ever would. But I understood him. I understood the fear that drove him. The shame that consumed him. The desperation that made him do something he knew was wrong. I understood. But I didn't forgive. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in my office, reviewing a case file, when my phone rang. The caller ID said, Cook County Jail. Olivia Cross, I said. Ms. Cross, this is Sergeant Miller from the Cook County Jail. I have an inmate here asking for you. He says you used to know him. He says you're the only lawyer he trusts. Who is it? His name is Marcus Webb. He's being held on armed robbery charges. He's been denied bail. His public defender withdrew from the case. He's been asking for you for 3 days. I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The city was gray with rain. The buildings were wet. The streets were empty. I'll be there tomorrow, I said. Tell him I'm coming. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the visit to the jail, the man I saw in the visiting room, the words he said, that's the part of this story that changed everything. That's the part that taught me what it really means to be a defender. If you've ever had to face someone who hurt you, type face in the comments. Let me know you understand. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Marcus. About the boy who had been my best friend. About the 16-year-old who had stood on my front porch, crying, telling me he was sorry. About the man who was now sitting in a jail cell, waiting for me to decide if I would help him. I thought about the robbery. The broken window. The empty jewelry box. The laptop that had all my school projects. The cash my mother had saved for months. The way I felt when I realized someone had been in my home, had touched my things, had taken what wasn't theirs. I thought about Marcus's face when he confessed. The tears. The shame. The way he couldn't look me in the eye. The way he said he was sorry like he meant it, even though sorry didn't fix anything. I thought about the years that followed. The silence. The distance. The way I told myself I didn't care, even though I did. The way I built a life that was mine, a life that didn't include him, a life that was proof that I had moved on. But I hadn't moved on. Not really. I had buried the hurt. I had hidden it under layers of work and ambition and success. But it was still there. It was always there. And now Marcus was back. He needed me. He needed the one person he had betrayed. He needed the childhood best friend he had stolen from. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to help him. I didn't know if I was being kind or foolish, generous or naive. But I knew that I needed to see him. I needed to look him in the eyes. I needed to hear what he had to say. The Cook County Jail is a gray building on the south side of Chicago. It's the kind of building that doesn't want you to forget where you are. The walls are thick. The doors are heavy. The air smells like nothing. Like everything has been stripped away. I walked through security. I showed my bar card. I signed the visitor log. I waited in a small room with plastic chairs and fluorescent lights and a window that looked out at nothing. They brought him in. Marcus was older. His hair was gray at the temples. His face was lined. He was thin, too thin, the kind of thin that comes from stress, from fear, from a life that had fallen apart. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit. His hands were cuffed. His feet were shackled. He walked like someone who had already given up. He sat down across from me. He looked at the table. He didn't look at me. "Marcus," I said. He looked up. His eyes were red. His face was pale. He looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. "Olivia," he said. His voice was quiet. It cracked on the word. "Thank you for coming. You asked me to." He nodded. He looked at his hands. They were shaking. "I know I don't have the right to ask you for anything," he said. "I know I don't deserve your help. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm asking anyway. I'm asking because I don't have anyone else. I'm asking because I'm scared. I'm asking because I don't want to die in prison." I sat in my chair. I looked at him. I thought about the boy who had stood on my front porch, crying, telling me he was sorry. I thought about the man who was sitting in front of me, broken and scared, asking me to save him. "Tell me what happened," I said. "Everything. Don't leave anything out." He told me. His name was Marcus Webb. He was 37 years old. He had been in and out of trouble since he was a teenager. The robbery at my house was his first offense. It wasn't his last. After juvenile detention, he tried to get his life together. He got a job at a warehouse. He went to community college. He stayed out of trouble for a few years. But the old habits came back. The wrong friends. The bad decisions. The sense that he didn't deserve anything better. He was arrested again at 21. Petty theft. 6 months in county jail. Again at 24. Burglary. 2 years in state prison. Again at 28. Possession with intent to distribute. 4 years. He got out when he was 32. He tried again. He got a job. He stayed clean. He stayed out of trouble. For 5 years, he was doing okay. Then he lost his job. The warehouse closed. He couldn't find work. He fell behind on his rent. He owed money to people who weren't patient. And he made the same mistake he had made when he was 16. He robbed someone. Only this time, it was worse. This time, there was a weapon. This time, someone could have been hurt. "I didn't want to hurt anyone," he said. "I just wanted money." I was desperate. I was scared. I didn't know what else to do. You could have asked for help. You could have gone to a shelter. You could have. I know. I know what I could have done. But I didn't. I made the wrong choice. Again. I always make the wrong choice. He put his head in his hands. His shoulders shook. "I'm tired, Olivia. I'm so tired. I'm tired of being this person. I'm tired of making the same mistakes. I'm tired of letting everyone down. I'm tired of letting myself down." I listened to his story. I took notes. I watched his face. I watched for the tells, the signs that someone is lying. I saw none. What I saw was a man who was exhausted. A man who had made terrible mistakes. A man who didn't know how to get out. "Why did you ask for me?" I said. "There are other lawyers. Better lawyers. Lawyers who don't have a reason to hate you." He looked at me. His eyes were wet. "Because you're the only person who ever believed in me," he said. "Because you're the only person who knew who I was before I became this. Because you're the only person who might see something worth saving. I sat back in my chair. I looked at him. I haven't seen you in 22 years, I said. You robbed my house. You stole from my family. You broke my trust. And you never apologized. Not really. Not in a way that mattered. He nodded. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. I'm sorry, he said. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for breaking your trust. I'm sorry for not being the person you believed I could be. I'm sorry for everything. I looked at him. At the boy who had been my best friend. At the man who had made terrible choices. At the person who was sitting in front of me, broken and scared, asking for a second chance. I'll take your case, I said. I'll be your lawyer. But I need you to understand something. I'm not doing this because I forgive you. I'm not doing this because I believe in you. I'm doing this because it's my job. I'm doing this because everyone deserves a defense. I'm doing this because I don't want to be the person who turns away someone who has no one else. He started to cry. He put his face in his hands. Thank you, he said. Thank you, Olivia. I don't deserve. I know, I said. But you're getting it anyway. Don't make me regret it. The next week was a blur of motions and meetings and late nights in my office. I pulled the police reports. I reviewed the witness statements. I talked to the detectives. I talked to the DA. I built a case. The evidence against Marcus was strong. He was caught on camera. His fingerprints were on the weapon. His DNA was at the scene. The DA was asking for 20 years. 20 years in federal prison. Marcus would be nearly 60 when he got out. I filed a motion to suppress some of the evidence. I argued that the police had violated Marcus's rights during the search. The judge denied the motion. The DA was confident. He had a strong case. He didn't need to make a deal. I went to see Marcus in the jail. I told him the bad news. The evidence is strong, I said. The DA is asking for 20 years. He's not offering a deal. He wants to make an example of you. Marcus sat in his chair. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. What are my chances? He asked. At trial? Not good. The jury is going to see the video. They're going to see the fingerprints. They're going to see the weapon. They're going to want to convict you. So I'm going to prison for 20 years. Not if I can help it. I'm going to talk to the DA again. I'm going to try to get him to offer a deal. But I need you to be patient. I need you to trust me. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. I trust you, he said. I've always trusted you. Even when I didn't deserve to. I went back to my office. I called the DA. I asked for a meeting. He agreed to see me. The DA was a man named Richard Hayes. He was in his 50s. He had been prosecuting cases for 25 years. He was tough. He was fair. He didn't like to lose. Ms. Cross, he said. I know why you're here. You want me to go easy on your client. I want you to be reasonable. Marcus Webb is not a violent criminal. He made a mistake. He was desperate. He was scared. He didn't hurt anyone. He committed armed robbery. He had a weapon. Someone could have been killed. No one was killed. No one was hurt. The weapon wasn't even loaded. Marcus is not a danger to society. He's a man who has made bad choices. He needs help, not 20 years in prison. Hayes leaned back in his chair. He looked at me. Your client has a record. He's been in and out of prison for 20 years. He's had chances. He's wasted them. He's also a human being. He's someone's son. He's someone's friend. He's someone who deserves a chance to get his life together. Hayes was quiet for a moment. He looked at the window. The city was gray with rain. I'll offer him 10 years, he said. Take it or leave it. 10 years. It was better than 20. But it was still a long time. Marcus would be 47 when he got out. He would have spent more than half his life in prison. I'll talk to my client, I said. I'll let you know. I went to see Marcus the next day. I told him about the offer. 10 years, he said. That's a long time. It is. But it's not 20. You'll be 47 when you get out. You'll still have time. You can still build a life. He was quiet for a long time. The clock ticked. The fluorescent lights hummed. I don't know if I can do it, he said. I don't know if I can survive 10 years in prison. You can. You've survived worse. You've survived losing your father. You've survived poverty. You've survived your own mistakes. You can survive this. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. Why do you care? After what I did to you. After everything. Why do you care? I looked at him. At the boy who had been my best friend. At the man who had made terrible choices. At the person who was sitting in front of me, broken and scared, asking me why I was helping him. Because I'm not you, I said. Because I don't let people drown when I can save them. Because I don't punish people for being weak. Because I'm not the person who holds on to anger for 22 years and lets it destroy everything. Because I want to be free. He started to cry. He put his face in his hands. I'll take the deal, he said. 10 years. I'll do the time. And when I get out, I'll try to be someone else. Someone better. Someone who deserves the chance you've given me. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the sentencing hearing, the words Marcus said to the judge, the moment I saw him in the courtroom, that's the part of this story that I didn't expect. That's the part that taught me something about redemption, about forgiveness, about the kind of person I wanted to be. If you've ever had to watch someone pay for their mistakes, type pay in the comments. Let me know you understand. The sentencing hearing was on a Friday. The courtroom was full. The prosecutor was there. The victim of Marcus's latest crime was there, a convenience store owner named Mr. Patel who had been working the night shift when Marcus walked in with a weapon. Mr. Patel sat in the front row, his hands folded, his face hard. He had come to see justice done. I sat at the defense table with Marcus. He was wearing a suit that the public defender's office had provided. It was too big for him. The sleeves hung over his hands. The pants bunched at his ankles. He looked like a boy playing dress-up, not a man facing 10 years in prison. You ready? I asked. He nodded. His hands were shaking. I'm scared. That's okay. Being scared is normal. But I need you to be brave. I need you to say what you need to say. Can you do that? He looked at me. His eyes were wet. I can do it. I have to. The judge called the case. The prosecutor stood up. He talked about Marcus's record. The previous convictions. The years of bad choices. The fact that he had been given chances and wasted them. He asked for the maximum sentence. 20 years. Then it was my turn. I stood up. I walked to the center of the courtroom. Your Honor, I said. My client is guilty. He doesn't deny that. He committed a crime. He made a terrible choice. He knows that. He's not asking you to ignore what he did. I looked at Marcus. He was sitting at the defense table, his hands folded, his face pale. But my client is not a monster. He's a man who has struggled his whole life. He grew up without a father. His mother worked 2 jobs and still couldn't make ends meet. He fell in with the wrong people. He made bad decisions. And he has spent years trying to escape the cycle he was born into. I turned to the judge. My client has accepted responsibility for his actions. He has agreed to plead guilty. He has agreed to cooperate with the authorities. He is not the same person who committed this crime. He has changed. He is trying to be better. And I'm asking you to give him a chance. Give him a chance to become the person he wants to be. The judge nodded. He looked at Marcus. Mr. Webb, he said. Do you have anything you want to say? Marcus stood up. He walked to the podium. His hands were shaking. His face was pale. He looked at the judge. Then he turned to Mr. Patel, the man he had robbed. I'm sorry, he said. His voice was quiet. It was shaking. I know that doesn't mean anything. I know it doesn't change what I did. I know it doesn't give you back the fear you felt that night. But I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He stopped. He put his hand over his mouth. He was crying. The courtroom was silent. I've been in trouble my whole life, he said. I've made bad choices. I've hurt people. I've let everyone down. I've let myself down. And I'm tired. I'm tired of being this person. I'm tired of making the same mistakes. I'm tired of hurting people who don't deserve it. He wiped his face. He looked at the judge. I know I deserve to go to prison. I know I deserve to lose everything. But I'm asking you to give me a chance. Not because I deserve it. Because I want to be someone else. Someone better. Someone who doesn't run away when things get hard. Someone who tells the truth. Someone who helps people instead of hurting them. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. I had a friend once, he said. A best friend. She believed in me. She thought I could be someone. And I betrayed her. I stole from her. I broke her trust. And she still showed up. She still came when I called. She still gave me a chance. He turned back to the judge. I don't want to waste this chance. I don't want to waste the chance she's given me. I want to be someone else. Someone better. Someone who deserves the faith she has in me. He sat down. The courtroom was silent. The judge looked at him. He looked at Mr. Patel. He looked at the prosecutor. I'll take this under advisement, he said. Sentencing will be in 2 weeks. The 2 weeks were the longest of my life. I waited. I watched. I hoped. I didn't know what the judge would do. I didn't know if he would give Marcus 10 years or 20. I didn't know if the words he said had made a difference. Marcus called me every day from the jail. He was scared. He was anxious. He was waiting. What if he gives me 20 years, he asked. What if I spend the rest of my life in prison? Then you spend the rest of your life in prison, I said. But you don't give up. You don't stop trying to be someone else. You don't stop trying to be better. You do the time. You come out. And you build something new. You really believe that? You really believe I can be someone else? I was quiet for a moment. I thought about the boy who had stood on my front porch, crying, telling me he was sorry. I thought about the man who was sitting in a jail cell, waiting to find out if he would ever be free. I believe that people can change, I said. I believe that people can be better. I believe that the person you were is not the person you have to be. I believe that you can build something new. I believe that you can be someone who matters. He was quiet. I heard him breathing. I heard him crying. Thank you, he said. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for being the person you are. The sentencing was on a Friday. The courtroom was full again. Mr. Patel was there. The prosecutor was there. Marcus sat beside me. His hands were shaking. His face was pale. The judge walked in. He sat down. He looked at the papers in front of him. He looked at Marcus. "Mr. Webb," he said. "I've reviewed your file. I've reviewed your criminal history. I've reviewed the statements from the victim. I've reviewed the letters that have been sent on your behalf. And I've thought about what you said. About wanting to be someone else. About wanting to be better." He paused. The courtroom was silent. "I've been a judge for 18 years, he said. I've seen a lot of people stand in front of me and say they're sorry. Some of them meant it. Some of them didn't. I've learned to tell the difference." He looked at Marcus. His face was kind. His eyes were tired. "I believe you're sorry," he said. "I believe you want to be someone else. I believe you want to be better. And I believe that you can be." He paused. He looked at the papers again. "I'm sentencing you to 8 years in federal prison." 8 years. That's a long time. But it's not the rest of your life. When you get out, you'll be 45 years old. You'll have a chance to build something new. You'll have a chance to be someone else. You'll have a chance to be better. Marcus started to cry. He put his face in his hands. His shoulders shook. "Don't waste it," the judge said. "Don't waste this chance. Be the person you want to be. Be the person you told me you could be." He banged his gavel. The hearing was over. Marcus was going to prison. I went to see him one last time before he was transferred. He was in the holding cell, waiting for the marshals to take him away. He was wearing the same suit. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. 8 years, he said. That's a long time. It is. But it's not 20. You'll be 45 when you get out. You'll have a chance. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. Why did you do it? Why did you help me? After what I did to you. I looked at him. I looked at the boy who had broken my trust. I looked at the man who was going to prison. I looked at the person who was asking me why I had saved him. Because I'm not you, I said. Because I don't let people drown when I can save them. Because I don't punish people for being weak. Because I'm not the person who holds on to anger for 22 years and lets it destroy everything. Because I want to be free. He started to cry. He put his hands over his face. I'm sorry, he said. I'm so sorry. For everything. For what I did to you. For the person I was. For the years I took from you. I'm sorry. I know, I said. I know. The marshals came. They took him away. He didn't look back. I didn't think about Marcus after that. Not the way I had thought about him before. He was there, in the background, the way things are when they've been part of your life for so long you don't notice them anymore. But he wasn't heavy. He wasn't sharp. He was just a memory. A story. A thing that had happened to someone who was not me anymore. I went back to work. I took on new cases. I defended people who had no one else. I built cases. I won cases. I lost cases. I did the work I had been doing for years. And then, 8 years later, I got a letter. It was from Marcus. He was being released. He was going to a halfway house in Chicago. He was looking for a job. He was trying to build something new. Dear Olivia. I'm getting out next week. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know who I'm going to be. But I wanted to thank you. For believing in me. For giving me a chance. For being the person you are. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I want you to know that I'm trying. I'm trying to be someone else. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be the person you believed I could be. Thank you for saving my life. I won't waste it. Marcus. I read the letter twice. I put it in my desk drawer. I went back to work. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the years that followed, the changes that came, the thing I finally understood, that's the part of this story that taught me what it really means to be a defender. If you've ever had to let go of something you thought you would carry forever, type "let go" in the comments. Let me know you understand. I didn't see Marcus after he got out of prison. Not right away. He went to the halfway house. He got a job at a warehouse. He stayed out of trouble. He kept his head down. He tried to be someone else. I heard things. From my mother, who still lived in the old neighborhood. From friends who had known us both. Marcus was doing okay. He wasn't thriving, but he wasn't failing. He was just surviving. I didn't reach out. I didn't call. I didn't visit. I told myself it was because I was busy. I told myself it was because I didn't want to reopen old wounds. I told myself it was because he didn't need me anymore. But the truth was, I was scared. I was scared of seeing him. I was scared of feeling the old anger. I was scared of forgiving him. I was scared of what it would mean if I let go. Years passed. I built my practice. I took on more cases. I became known as the lawyer who would take the cases no one else wanted. I defended the people who had been written off. I fought for second chances. And I thought about Marcus. About the boy who had been my best friend. About the man who had made terrible choices. About the person who was trying to be better. I thought about what it meant to forgive someone who didn't deserve it. What it meant to let go of anger that had been part of my life for so long. What it meant to be free. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in my office, reviewing a case file, when my phone rang. The caller ID said unknown. Olivia Cross, I said. Olivia. The voice was familiar. It was a voice I hadn't heard in years. It was Marcus. Marcus, I said. It's been a long time. It has. I'm sorry I haven't called. I didn't know if you wanted to hear from me. I didn't know if I wanted to hear from you either. He was quiet for a moment. I heard him breathing. I'm doing okay, he said. I've been out for 3 years now. I have a job. I have a place to live. I'm staying out of trouble. That's good. That's really good. I've been going to therapy. I've been trying to understand why I made the choices I made. Why I kept making the same mistakes. Why I couldn't stop. Did you figure it out? He was quiet for a long time. I heard him thinking. I was scared, he said. I was scared of being nothing. I was scared of being invisible. I was scared that I would never be anything more than what I was. And I let that fear control me. I let it make me do terrible things. I let it hurt people who didn't deserve it. He stopped. I heard him take a breath. I'm not scared anymore, he said. I'm not the same person I was. I've changed. I've been changing for years. And I wanted you to know. I wanted you to know that the chance you gave me wasn't wasted. I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The city was bright with sun. The buildings were tall. The sky was blue. I'm glad, I said. I'm glad you're doing okay. Can I see you? I know I don't have the right to ask. I know you don't owe me anything. But I'd like to see you. I'd like to thank you in person. I'd like to show you who I've become. I was quiet for a moment. I thought about the boy who had stood on my front porch, crying, telling me he was sorry. I thought about the man who had sat in a jail cell, broken and scared, asking me to save him. I thought about the person who was on the other end of the line, asking me to give him another chance. I'll meet you, I said. There's a coffee shop on Milwaukee Avenue. Do you know it? I know it. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be there. The coffee shop was small. It was the kind of place where people went to be alone, even when they were with other people. The windows were large. The light was bright. The smell of coffee was everywhere. I got there early. I ordered a latte. I sat at a table by the window. I watched the door. At 10 a.m. exactly, Marcus walked in. He was different. Older, of course. His hair was gray at the temples. His face was lined. But there was something else. Something in his eyes. Something in the way he held himself. He looked peaceful. He looked calm. He looked like someone who had finally stopped running. He saw me. He walked to the table. He stood there for a moment, looking at me. "Olivia," he said. "Marcus." He sat down. He looked at his hands. They weren't shaking. "You look good," he said. "You look happy." "I am happy. I have a good life. I have work that matters. I have people who care about me." He nodded. He looked at the window. The street was busy. People were walking, talking, living their lives. "I've been thinking about what I did to you," he said. "For years. Every day. Every night. I think about the way you looked at me when I confessed. The disappointment. The hurt. The way I broke something that I could never fix." "You can't fix it," I said. "What's done is done. You can't go back. You can't undo it." "I know. I know I can't. But I can be sorry. I can carry it with me. I can let it remind me of who I was and who I don't want to be." He looked at me. His eyes were wet. "I'm sorry, Olivia. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for breaking your trust. I'm sorry for not being the person you believed I could be. I'm sorry for everything." I looked at him. At the boy who had been my best friend. At the man who had made terrible choices. At the person who was sitting across from me, crying, asking me to forgive him. "I don't know if I can forgive you," I said. "I don't know if I ever will. But I want you to know something. I don't hate you anymore. I don't carry the anger the way I used to. I've let it go. Not because you deserve it. Because I do. Because I deserve to be free." He started to cry. He put his face in his hands. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for saying that. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for being the person you are." We sat in the coffee shop for 2 hours. We talked about our lives. He told me about his job at the warehouse, about the therapy he had been doing, about the small apartment he was renting. He told me about the books he had been reading, the things he had been learning, the person he was trying to become. I told him about my work. About the cases I had taken, the clients I had defended, the lives I had helped save. I told him about the satisfaction of giving someone a second chance, of watching them become something new. We didn't talk about the past. Not much. We talked about the future. About the things we wanted to build. About the people we wanted to be. When we left the coffee shop, Marcus stopped on the sidewalk. He looked at me. "Can I hug you?" he asked. I looked at him. At the boy who had been my best friend. At the man who had made terrible choices. At the person who was asking me for something I had spent years believing I would never give him. "Yes," I said. "You can hug me." He put his arms around me. He held me. I held him. We stood on the sidewalk, in the sun, the childhood best friends who had been broken and were trying to find their way back. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for everything. Go be someone," I said. "Go be the person you want to be." He nodded. He walked away. I watched him go. He didn't look back. Here's what I've learned. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about letting go of something that was never yours to carry. It's about choosing to be free. It's about building a life that is yours, a life that no one can take away, a life that is enough. Marcus took something from me. He took my sense of safety. He took my trust. He took years of my life that I spent wondering if I could ever trust anyone again. But I built something new. I built a career that was mine. I built a reputation that was mine. I built a life that was mine. And when he came to me, broken and desperate, I didn't turn him away. I gave him a second chance. I defended him. I helped him. I let him be part of my life. Not because he deserved it, but because I wanted to be the kind of person who gives second chances. Because I wanted to be the kind of person who doesn't let the past decide the future. Because I wanted to be free. I didn't forgive him. Not the way you think. I didn't wake up one day and decide to let go of the anger. I didn't have a moment of clarity where I understood what he did and why. I didn't find peace in the knowledge that he was sorry. But I let go. I let go because I was tired. I was tired of carrying something that wasn't mine to carry. I was tired of being angry at someone who didn't matter anymore. I was tired of being the person who was broken. I was tired of being the person who couldn't move on. I let go. And when I let go, I realized something. The person who broke me was not the person who saved me. I was the one who saved me. I was the one who built a life from nothing. I was the one who became someone. I was the one who let go. I am Olivia Cross. I am 38 years old. I am a public defender in Chicago. I defend people who have no one else. I fight for second chances. I believe that people can change. And I am free. I am free of the boy who broke my trust. I am free of the girl who believed she was nothing. I am free of the weight I carried for 22 years. I am free of the story I told myself about who I was and what I deserved. I am free because I chose to be. I am free because I built something that no one could take away. I am free because I am the person I decided to be. I see Marcus sometimes. At the grocery store. On the street. He always smiles. He always says hello. He always asks how I'm doing. He's doing well. He's been out of trouble for years. He has a steady job. He has a small apartment. He has a life that is his. He's not the person he was. He's someone else. Someone better. Someone who deserves the chance he was given. I'm proud of him. I don't say it. I don't need to. He knows. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, if you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, if you've ever wondered if you would ever be whole again, I want you to know something. You will be whole. You will build something new. You will become someone that no one can touch. Not because you forget what happened, but because you choose to be free. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. You don't have to be the person who gives second chances. But you do have to be the person who shows up for yourself. Who fights for yourself. Who builds a life that is yours. And when the moment comes, when you have the chance to let go of the anger, the hurt, the weight of what was done to you, I hope you take it. Not because they deserve it. Because you do. Because you deserve to be free. My name is Olivia Cross. I defend the innocent. I fight for second chances. I let go. And I am free. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, leave a comment. Tell me your story. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. I have more stories to tell. And I want you to be here for them. My name is Olivia Cross. I am enough. I have always been enough. And so are you.